Okay, well, it's April 5th here. We got a lot of protests, a lot of stuff going on here. I'm at the plaza where there's a big meeting of people. And so my question today is, I'm not a political person, so how do they see this protest leading to real political change? Trying to gather ideas. I mean, what can the Democrats really do? Maybe the people know. Besides protesting, what's the positive thing that people can do? So that's my question of people I'm going to ask. Up here in the rear flank. Okay, what's your group about here?
Bombs Kansas City. We are a group of just citizens in Kansas City who feed between 40 and 70 people every week, every Sunday up in the northeast of Kansas City. We accept donations of produce and rice and lentils and all that stuff, and we think that it's a human right to have nutritious, fresh food, and everybody deserves that. So if you're interested in getting involved, look up Food Not Bombs Kansas City. Just Google it or DuckDuckGo it, and get involved, because it doesn't take much to help people who need it.
So my story is, how do you see this? I'm not a political guy, I'm an ideas guy, so I'm just trying to figure out, how does this protest translate to practical political action? How do you see, what's the idea there? How do you see it going? What's your sense?
I mean, you have to get the people involved. Basically, there's a MAGA movement who's been fired up, and they've kind of turned into an angry group, an angry mob almost. And you have to have a flip side of that has the rationale and the logic behind it. My logic with carrying this Ukrainian flag is the greatest generation who fought in World War II, including my dad, and the rest of the generation basically fought communism and was put up a fight against communism and Russia and the Soviet Union for 50 years. And the greatest generation handed that security down to the next generation and the following generation. And we have all benefited from it. But now we are so wrapped up in this movement now about getting the government out of everything, and we got to pull back into the United States. It doesn't make any sense. We're forfeiting all the gains and all the prosperity that we've gained over the last 60, 70, 80 years since World War II. We're forfeiting our place in the world. We're forfeiting our place with the Allies. It just makes no sense. And just the principle of having, these people that followed Ronald Reagan and supported him and his ideas and said that, the basically fighting the evil empire, these people have all flipped. So it's just hard to fathom how people could be on the side of Ronald Reagan and be so wholehearted for that guy. And then when it comes to following through with what he did and what the country has accomplished over the 60 years, they fall for some guy who is just a perpetual liar.
Well, what can the Democrats do at this perilous moment in a practical sense? Anything to translate these protests into actual political movement?
I think this is a good start. I mean, peaceful protest is a step that people can take that makes them feel like they're taking action, and just showing support for people who feel the same way that we do about this government.
What's your reason for getting off the couch and being out here? And what do you think the Democrats can do in a practical sense to translate this into a political movement?
Ooh, those are some good questions, but to answer the question as to why I'm out here to support my fellow co-workers. As I stated before, I am a retired federal employee. And I think this is terrible what's going on with my agency right now. And Donald Trump and Elon Musk are just tearing it apart from the inside. And they're trying to do that to make the agency look like it's a terrible agency, but it's not. So for all the people that are on Social Security, believe me, those people are employees, your employees are working for you. And Trump and Musk, they're just trying to tear it apart. And I'm really pissed off about it. So I'm here for support. Do anything I can. I mean, I'll march, I'll write, whatever's necessary so that we can get control. Because right now, everything's out of control.
I saw your sign there, love thy neighbor. What is that? Is that a quote from something? Love thy neighbor? What is that?
I do believe it's from the Bible.
Has any conservative read the gospel, do you think?
No, I do not. But don't you like my handmade?
They
neighbors.
actually read the one written by Trump. That's who they read.
A new version of it, yeah.
Not the Bible I know.
Getting closer to noon, getting crowds coming in here, getting all sorts of flags, I love the signs. I'm a paper guy, I'm not comfortable with social media, so I love all these signs here. I'm not a political person, I'm like an idea person, so I mean, what can the Democrats or what can be done to translate this protest action into practical political movement? Anything you see, or what's the uniting idea on the left is my other question. What do you think?
That's a great question. You know, it's something that I saw recently that I thought was really great is like Cory Booker's filibuster that he was doing. Yeah, I thought that was awesome. And I feel like that is kind of coming from a grassroots movement. I know that he's pretty like outspoken, but it's really awesome that he's doing that kind of stuff. I don't know.
He said that politicians need to cause good trouble, I think quoting John Lewis. So I think maybe a little bit more of that on the Democratic side would maybe make you feel like you're being supported in what you're doing out here, standing in the cold, rainy kind of day here.
Yes, I feel like definitely. Yes.
What do you think? What's your, what can the Democrats do to translate this into political movement? What's the uniting idea on the left, or anybody who's against this sort of rogue administration going on right now?
Kind of what I've seen a lot is people saying that the Democrats need to start acting like the opposition party, which they are, and right now they're not acting like that. They're not really doing anything besides Cory Booker. That was great. But we need to see that a lot more consistently and stuff like that more. We need more examples of like opposition to this regime stepping up. Yeah.
What about a progressive project of some sort that will be in place once this protest ends? Let's say they even did get Trump out of office. Then we're just kind of left with back where we were. So what about a progressive project right now, and then use that to do the protest movement, and then you end up with a political progressive project after that? What do you think that sounds to young people like yourselves?
As far as progressive projects, that's a really good question. I feel like, as a young woman, I feel like codifying abortion rights is really important. We definitely need like major healthcare reform all over the board in this country.
What do you think about folding women's reproductive rights in with healthcare and sort of collapsing it rhetorically and using that as the uniting issue?
Because women's rights are healthcare, so it should all be treated
health
the
care.
same.
Abortion is healthcare.
Yeah, so it needs to all be treated the same as by our government.
What do you think Lady Liberty would say to Trump and the right now? What's going on? What would are they making Lady Liberty into a scorned woman? I mean, what's gonna happen here?
She would be ashamed of what's going on, that our democracy is being challenged, that our Constitution is being torn apart, and that everything that we have held dear for so long, welcoming immigrants, promoting freedom and justice and due process, has gone in the toilet with this administration.